There you are. Now then, next question comes from Ich kommentiere nur 123. They asked, "Do you like ham?" And weirdly enough, we already had this question. Yeah, the answer is I do like ham, in moderation. Modded Oblivion asks, grapes with or without seeds? Without seeds, definitely. Francis Urquhart asks, have you watched the TV series House of Cards? Brackets, not the Netflix Yankee version, but the superior post-Thatcher 90s version. The answer is no, actually, but I constantly hear good things about it, so at some point it's on my to-watch list, and I have a very big to-watch list, sadly, but it's on there, alright. Don't you worry about that. Another thing that's been flagged as spam, let's find out. Okay, reposted his original question for some reason. I don't know why you did that, dude. I see it the first time round, it comes into my inbox on Hotmail, and I don't miss a beat. Even if you delete your comment after making it, I still see it. You can't hide from me. It's one of those things, because the original email that is triggered when you post a comment on one of my videos is sent to me, to my Hotmail account, with the contents of your comment in there. So even if you delete your comment immediately after posting it, I still see it. So I'm omniscient like that. So that's why it really annoys me when you get people who post on a comment on a video and then they say, thumbs up so he can see. Thumbs up, guys, so that he can see, because otherwise he might miss it. And the answer is no, I won't miss it. Because I never view comments on the actual video page. I view comments through my email inbox. So yeah, don't do that, by the way. So don't ever do that on my videos or anyone else's, because it's pointless. Okay, so oh god, I've lost my point now. My place even. Oh my god. Laura Lucas asks, how do I stop Google from using my boring normal name as my YouTube handle? The answer to that is I don't know, I'm sorry. It came up with a thing asking me a while ago when they started doing that. It's like, do you want to use your real name instead? And I was like, no. So I pressed no. So unfortunately I don't know how you fix that if it's defaulted to using your name, sadly. And your other question, has Idris lost faith in Julianos? And the answer to that is, well, he never really had a lot of faith to begin with. So, the whole thing with Idris and the gods like Julianos, it's more of a patron saint kind of a deal than an actual worshipful faith, if you like what I mean. Yeah, if you know what I mean. Like, he respects Julianos because Julianos is very much a patron saint, if you like, of people like Idris, of mages and seekers of knowledge. But he doesn't really actively worship Julianos. He doesn't say prayers to Julianos, you know. He doesn't go to church to visit Julianos regularly or anything like that, you know. He doesn't go to a temple of Julianos or anything like that, you know. He has respect for Julianos. That's all, really. So, let's see, what's next? Khalid565 asks, would you ever consider doing an LP of any of the TES titles like Oblivion or Skyrim? Dude, where have you been? Click on my channel page, it should answer your question. Joe Schmo asks, what's your proudest achievement to date, gaming or otherwise? Ooh, okay. My proudest achievement to date. Now, I saw this question when I originally got it through my inbox, and I had to think about it, because I knew it'd be one I'd have to think about instead of answering off the top of my head. And the answer is, when I finished college, I was doing a fine art course. Well, it wasn't actually specifically a fine art course, but anyway. When I finished college, everyone who was on my course, we were on an art and design course, everyone who was on my course, our final piece that we did produced for the end of this course, we had to do an actual proper exhibition, an art exhibition containing our pieces, which we were going to hold at the college, and members of the public were going to be invited to come and look at it. And the piece I did was an installation piece, and for those of you who don't know an installation piece, it's basically a great big piece of art that you can actually go in and walk around inside. And my installation piece was nothing really special or particularly highbrow or arty. Basically, what I decided to do was I decided to make this complete mock-up of a office, like from one of the war rooms, like in a government building or something like that, from like the 1940s, 1950s. And I mocked it up, and I got everything historically accurate as much as I could. The tables in there, the chairs, the typewriters, the even the colour of the paint I used on the floor and walls. The whole thing was built out of like massive MDF planks. Like it was this room constructed within a room, which was the big room the exhibition was held in, that people could go and walk inside. And even the door leading into it was a fairly authentic one. I used lots of props I had lying around, like an old World War II helmet which was hung on the back of the door, as well as a army trench coat. And there's a British Army jacket hanging on the back of the chair. The chair itself was a original one. I had a blackboard which I made myself from scratch, designed to, like, I applied special varnish to it and stuff like that to make it look like an old style blackboard. I got old style chalk for the board, and I got, basically there wasn't a real point to it other than basically the whole thing was kind of a detective thing almost, where I had different clues and bits and bobs and letters and things that I'd written myself on a typewriter, littered about the office, and anyone who was looking closely enough could piece together like this weird story that was going on through all these different bits and bobs that were lying around in the office. But anyway, so that was what I did. That was my final piece of the exhibition, and I'm really proud of it because, like, when the exhibition actually came, I was really quite nervous. You know, I turned up for maybe about 20 minutes, then left. I fled the scene because I honestly had better things to do at the end of the day. But yeah, I turned up, and I was really surprised because a lot of people, like members of the public, you know, either came up to me and said, like, I really like your piece, I think it's really great, it's really awesome, or people later on told me that lots of people had been talking about the piece that I'd made and said it was really good and that sort of thing. I even got a little interview in the local newspaper from the sister of one of my friends who worked at the local newspaper. So I got in the news, if you like, along with a couple of other students that were there. And to this day, I am really proud of that I actually managed to produce something that people really enjoyed looking at and enjoyed experiencing, and stuff like that. And I guess you could say it was like the success I had from that made me go on to think, maybe actually build up enough confidence to actually start Let's Playing, because I actually started Let's Playing not long after that. I finished that course and not long after that exhibition, so, you know, because I've always liked making stuff, you know, like I always used to write little books and stuff when I was little, like, you know, there's fighting fantasy books like Lone Wolf and stuff like that where you choose your own adventure stuff. I used to write loads of those to myself, and I used to write other little stories too, but I never showed them to anyone. I always kind of kept them to myself, you know, they were my little thing that I used to like doing every now and again. And the same, I used to do my own little drawings and things like that. I did all the little illustrations myself for these little books I did, you see. I never really showed them to anyone except maybe my dad, maybe a friend. But being forced to actually put my work out there like I did with that exhibition, and, you know, have people have a look at it and have it turn out that people actually really liked what I'd done, that was more kind of one of the contributing factors to me going, you know what, sod this, I'm actually going to go make a YouTube channel. I'm going to start putting out these videos that I've wanted to do for ages but never really kind of managed to build up to doing, you know, get enough confidence to put myself out there to do, you know, because it's a difficult thing, putting yourself out there, you know, sticking your head out into the wind essentially, and for all the internet to see. And, you know, it can go horribly wrong, and they'll have, like, the trolls will come along and make fun of your video, or it can go really well, and it was kind of a mix of both in my case. So yeah, you know, that's probably what I'm proudest of. That exhibition, yeah, it was a high point, that was definitely. So anyway, okay, moving on. Thanks for that question, it's a good one. Moving on. Cheese Meltdown asks, how much longer will you try to continue the Oblivion Let's Play for? The answer is as long as it takes. I am a little bit appalled by how long it's taken me so far, in a way. I mean, I know people have been enjoying it, so I guess that's all that matters at the end of the day, but I'm still a little bit concerned that we are at part 100 now, essentially. And I still have not started either of the planned quest lines I was going to be doing in this Let's Play. That's a little bit ridiculous. Like, this Let's Play is more than slow-paced, it's like snail-paced. And hopefully once we get on to one of these quest lines, the pace is going to pick up dramatically, and things are going to start getting really interesting. But thankfully, everyone's enjoyed it so far, regardless. I think I seem to have managed to pull off a pretty decent character in the form of Idris, because with one of these role-playing Let's Plays, if you create a character that nobody likes, it's never going to go anywhere. That's the problem. You know, so that I'm pretty pleased with. So yeah, but it literally will be the case of, as long as it takes to finish it, man, that's how long it's going to take. If I have to go to 800 parts, if I have to do a My Name Is Not Lily, you know, / Tord, whatever you want to call him, and do a Let's Play that is 800 parts long, that will just simply what is going to have to happen. I will take as long as I need to take. There is no limit on how many parts of this Let's Play I upload, simply put. So, okay, moving on. Moving on, a bit further up, that's not a question. Okay, Finest7 asks, would you rather be a lone genius in a world filled with ignorance, or a fool in a world filled with intelligence? I think I'd rather be the first. I would rather be a lone genius in a world filled with ignorance, because at the very least I could try and teach people what I know, you know. I could, you know, write books or whatever, or just, you know, teach people all the knowledge I know and try and make the world a bit of a better place. However, if I was a fool in a world filled with intelligence, I would feel terrible. I really would. Like, I would literally feel like completely inferior to everyone else, and my self-esteem would be through the floor. That would be a pretty horrible existence. You lived on a planet full of geniuses and you were the only idiot. Yeah, that kind of suck, I think. I'm pretty sure there was a Futurama episode about that at one point. Just popped into my head for whatever reason, so there you go. But yeah, no, I'd rather be the genius in a world filled with ignorance, because at least I could maybe do something to make it better. Okay, so, Galactic Jeebus asked, are you a Lannister or a Stark? I don't know, really. Ideally, I'm some peasant somewhere living in Westeros who has got so utterly fed up with all the bullshit the noble houses are doing that I've led some sort of peasant uprising and burnt King's Landing to the ground, actually. I'd love to see if the peasants eventually finally get that pissed off in Game of Thrones that they all just decide, screw the nobility, we're burning you all to the ground. But no, in all seriousness, probably, I don't know, probably Stark, really, at the end of the day. The Lannisters are kind of a bunch of bastards, really, at the end of the day. There are a few great characters within their house, but on the whole, yeah, no, I'd rather be a Stark, you know. Even though if I am a dirty southerner in real life, as opposed to a northerner. Anyway, so... okay, nicely leading on from that, a question from An Unsung Power is, do you watch/read a Game of Thrones / The Song of Ice and Fire? I watch Game of Thrones religiously. It's a fantastic series. I bought the original book in the Song of Ice and Fire saga, which is Game of Thrones. It's literally called Game of Thrones. And I read about halfway through it, but the problem I found with it is because it was so faithful to the series, I kind of found myself sitting there and thinking, why the hell am I bothering to read this? Like, it's not that different from the series at all. I kind of feel like I'm almost wasting my time here. Or I could just watch the series instead of reading the book. And there are probably loads of fans of the book now, like, screaming at me like, no, why would you do that? But no, that's just the impression I got. So, you know, maybe I'll pick it up again at some point and carry on. But generally speaking, I just tend to watch the series. It saves time. It'll take me a year to watch, you know, to like read probably the entirety of Game of Thrones, because I'm a really slow reader. But whereas I can watch all of a season of Game of Thrones in about a week. So, you know. You also asked, can you believe it's not butter? No, I can't. And also, yeah, if I watch Game of Thrones, if so, who is your favourite character or house? I'm going to be really, really super duper boring here, and I'm going to say Tyrion Lannister, because how could he not be your favourite character? Like, really, how could he actually not be your favourite character? Oh dear. Okay, that said, him out of the way, Arya, she's pretty great. I think she's kind of awesome, actually, in her own little way. And Jon Snow, like, at the beginning of the series, I thought he was a bit of a whiny emo bastard, kind of. I didn't have a lot of sympathy for him, but as it's gone on, I've actually started to sympathise a lot more with him. I think he's actually not that bad a character at all. I think he's kind of cool, actually, really. And even Jaime Lannister, he's pretty interesting as a character, actually. He's pretty interesting. I'm told he gets even more interesting as the kind of saga continues, but I don't want to spoil anything, so, yeah. There are so many cool characters in Game of Thrones. Really, and then at the end of the day, it's very difficult to choose, isn't it, really? If you put Tyrion Lannister aside, anyway. So anyway, moving on. God knows how long I've been recording this for. Has it really been almost 2 hours now? Oh, I hope not. Shanks230 asked, if you could pick one video game universe to live in, which universe would you choose and why? I can think of a load of universes I'd rather not live in. Fallout, Stalker. Yeah, no, I wouldn't want to live in those universes at all. But one I would want to live in? Ooh, good question. Good question, indeed. I'm trying to think now. I'm really trying to think. Maybe kind of live in a really weird universe, like the one from Beyond Good and Evil, perhaps. Yeah, that'd be pretty cool to live there, I suppose. Maybe, I don't know. Or maybe the alternate universe from the Ace Combat games. That'd be pretty neat to live there. Because it wouldn't really be, honestly, that different from here, except for the fact that war breaks out there every 5 minutes. But you know, probably wouldn't be somewhere like Tamriel or something like that for reasons I've already kind of said before. In that, you know, you'd just get blatantly and totally and utterly murdered if in Tamriel from all those goblins and rats and stuff that's hanging around every corner in the place. You know, it's not a very safe place to live, is it? Really, Tamriel. Let me think about it. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on, because I don't really have a proper answer for that question. I'm sorry. Joseph Taylor asks, after what happened with More Oblivion, will you be giving Skywind a trial? Yeah, maybe, I guess. I'll probably upload some videos of it when it gets to a playable state. You know, whether I'll do a proper full Let's Play of it, that's kind of doubtful, but yeah, I'll give it a bit of coverage. Why not? You know, kind of, I'm a Let's Player on YouTube. You know, I'm in a position to give things coverage and help boost their popularity. So why the hell wouldn't I if I thought it was good? You know. Although, if I'm honest, if I'm really, really honest, I'm more interested in the Oblivion side of that project than the Morrowind one. Like, okay, yeah, Morrowind remade on the Skyrim engine would be kind of fun, yeah, etc, etc. But what actually I'm really more interested in is seeing Oblivion remade on the Skyrim engine. Actually, I think that would be really neat, because remaking Oblivion on the Skyrim engine would actually solve a lot of the problems I originally had with Oblivion. So I'm actually really a lot more curious about that at the end of the day. So yeah, okay, moving on. Luke Stronach asks, what is your opinion on the fine city of Norwich? And my opinion is that it is a very fine city, and I would well, I would struggle to decide on any other place. I would honestly rather live in the UK. I think Norwich is such a blooming brilliant place to live. It honestly is. Great town. Great town. If I had to settle down in one specific place anywhere in the UK, it would probably come down to somewhere either like York. That'd be a cool place to live, or yeah, Norwich, maybe, or somewhere in Wales would be kind of good, like Saundersfoot in South Wales. That's a really nice place to live, if you're like 60, mind you. So anyway, Colin Badger asks, will you be doing Morrowind things on your channel in the near future? Despite your love for Morrowind, you have actually yet to do a true Morrowind Let's Play. Very true, Colin. Actually, that's very true. And it's true of a lot of people, actually. I mean, Variax is easily as much of a fan of Morrowind as I am, if not more. And he's never actually done what you'd call a true Morrowind Let's Play, which is just one standard Let's Play of, say, the main quest, if you like. In the same vein as his Oblivion one or something like that, because he did an interactive Morrowind, but he's never done an actual full-on, if you want to call it proper Let's Play, but there's no such thing as a proper Let's Play of Oblivion. I mean Morrowind. So yeah, no, I am planning a proper Morrowind Let's Play at some point. I'm just it's requiring a lot of planning, is all I'm gonna say, basically. Very, very, very careful selection of mods, very careful selection of a whole bunch of other stuff, very careful planning for what kind of character I'm going to play in it, lots of testing to see how it would play out as a full Let's Play in terms of how the game mechanics really work in a role-playing sense, because I've never played Morrowind very particularly heavily role-played it. I've just always played it like the average gamer would play Morrowind at the end of the day. I've never seriously big-time role-played a game of Morrowind ever, so it's a big experiment. As for there'll be more Morrowind on the channel in the near future, oh yeah, in fact, by the time you're listening to this right now, there probably will be a few episodes of Hardcore Morrowind uploaded, so that's kind of a moot point by now, I guess, I suppose. So anyway,